Well, good morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus, where we're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together enjoying Jesus with some beauty on the outside and, more importantly, some beauty on the inside. So, my name is Wendy, and I have been feverishly working on season 3 for you. So, make sure you pick up your Color Me James because that's going to start on March 6th. So, what are we going to do here today? Today, we are going to be working on a full face makeup tutorial. How can I create a soft and smoky cocoa eye look that looks great on me over 40? All right, so go ahead and grab your palette. I'm going to be using the Nubian 2 today. Grab your brushes, grab your lashes, and get on back here. Let's get going. A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. Can't wait. Sorry. I love that theme song. Okay, so our foundation verse for this podcast is going to be Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And if what you're hearing in your head right now is a Vacation Bible verse song, you are absolutely right. Which is why we have a song every single week to go with our verse. And I have so enjoyed getting to play with that music creation part of me. All right, so we talked just a minute ago about upcoming on March 9th is going to be Color Me James. And so if I can get that over here, there we go. Color Me James is going to be a 48-week study that we are working through the book of James. So we're going to study our way through it. We're going to color our way through it. We're going to puzzle our way through it. And we're going to memorize our way through James. Not just a little bit, the whole thing. When we finish at the end of 48 weeks, you will have memorized the book of James. So pick up your copy and come join me along that journey. And no, I'm not great at Bible memory. This is how you get great at Bible memory. Okay, so let me get that off your screen. There we go. All right, so we are going to be working on our verse for this week. So let me get over and we'll get that scrolling across your screen there. So our verse for this week, we're going to hang with Romans 8:28. I was working so hard on James that I did a little bit of neglect, not going to lie, on Romans. So we're going to keep working on Romans 8:28. So that's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good to those, or for those who are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. So we're going to hang tough on that one, and we're going to keep working on that one. So all of our products that we are going to be playing with today are going to be listed on my website. I want to make it a little bit easier on you to be able to find what we're using. Now you can use whatever palette you have, switch out the colors any way you want. We are going to be doing a smoky eye, so you're going to need a black liner. But all of the products that we use today, including that palette that you can see, which is the Juvia's Place Nubian 2 palette, those can all be found on the website. You can follow that QR code. You can go directly to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Anyway, whatever makes you more comfortable. But that is what we are going to be working with. And I've made it super easy for you to find the exact same products that I am using here. So verse is scrolling across the bottom. What have I forgot? I feel like something, and that is the chat. There we go. So go ahead and give me a shout out. Let me know where you are coming from. And love to give you a shout out while we're on here. Now, remember, while we're live, you can ask any question, and I will do my best to get that asked and answered while we are live. Okay, so let us start out with our primer. We're going to be starting out with that Urban Decay All-Nighter Primer, and one pump of that is going to be all that you need. So one pump, we're going to work that between our fingers, and then that's going to go over the whole face. For me, I'm concentrating on the middle, which is where, because I have combo skin, where I'm going to be experiencing possibly a little bit of separation in my foundation, just because you got that oily and dry thing happening. Then we're also going to go around our lips so we can make sure that we're going to help it to not creep out, to stay where you want it once you put it there. And for this time of year where are we winter? Are we spring? We're not sure. This is going to be great for filling in. Well, first off, it does help fill in the fine lines and wrinkles, but it's going to give you not moisture, not hydration, but it's just going to give a nice soft glow to your skin. So make sure we do that. Now, we are going to be doing a smoky eye today, so we're going to be using the primer. This is the Juvia's Eye Prep Eye Prime. I am the shade number 1, and just a little bit is all that you need for that. So that one thing is going to do both sides. So we're just going to prime that lid. That is going to help the wearability of the shadow. It is going to help us as we try to smoke out. It is going to help our colors to stay more true to the palette, which is a beautiful palette. I don't know if you're very familiar with the Nubian 2, but it has become one of my favorites. You just got a little bit of everything in there. And it's not too bold. I mean, I guess there's a couple colors you can make that way, but it's just like perfect. Just perfect. Okay, so now that we've got our eye concealer on, we're going to be working on, primer. We're going to be working with our IT Cosmetics by Under Eye. If I can get the lid off, there we go. And we're just going to use a little ribbon of that. So that right there is going to do everything that we need. We're just going to go under the eye, any place that you have any hyperpigmentation or redness or anything that you just want to disguise. We're going to use that there. I've got some darkness here. I got some darkness over there. I got some redness happening here. And yes, I could use a green concealer, but I don't consider it to be problematic enough for me to do that, so I'm not going to. I'm just going to let the Bye Bye Under Eye do its magic all by itself. So we're going to let that set for just a second because that blends out better when it gets a little bit warm with your body temperature. And then we're going to grab our Juvia's Place JP102. This is a flat foundation brush. And we're just going to blend that out. Going to use that nice round top part of that to get right there in that corner and right around that eye. And then I mentioned the redness, so I'm going to blend it out over the top of that redness on my cheek there and let that get covered. And this is just going to help the foundation to be able to do its job a little bit more effectively because we're helping it out. I don't like the red on my nose. I mean, we all got things, right? And then I'm going to work that up around that eye. I love that this has an edge to it because you can get right up under that eye there. And because it's a brush, it's nice and soft. You don't have to worry about it, excessively tugging on your skin or anything. Okay, so for today, I am going to be wearing the Juvia's Place. This is the I Am Magic Velvety Matte Foundation. I am the shade 710, which is Maracao. So get to your nearest Ulta. I don't know if Sephora has this or not, but I know Ulta does. And get a shade match. This does have a tendency to lean a little darker than you would think. So, shade match on your face. All right. And they have beauty advisors that can help you there. So we're just going to use like that much right there. Literally, that is enough to do your whole face. So we're just going to kind of tap it where we want it. I have not had any shout outs. Where y'all coming from today? Man, that sounded really country, didn't it? Okay, thank you. Nice to have you. Oh, a couple Texans. I feel like we should have like a Texas handshake or a Texas greeting. Maybe we should go like, yeehaw would be sort of cliche, right? Okay, we could we could still say that. Okay, so if you're from Texas, let me see a yeehaw from you. Now remember, whatever platform you're on, it's gonna come through to me. Okay, I got some yeehaws. Nice to have you with us here today, my fellow countrymen. And then we're gonna blend that out just under that chin line so we can make sure we don't end up with a line. And then into that hairline there. Yes, thank you for noticing. I did get my hair done. Yes. It's kind of messy because I do it without having it fixed right now. But yes, the amazing Christy at the Ulta in Waxahachie, Texas did that. And she is awesome. So if you need a haircut, color, whatever, she's amazing. Go see her. Okay, so now we're going to set what we just did. I am using the Benefit Cosmetics, the Professional, what is that called? Power Powder. Okay, there we go. And this one, if you have very fair skin, this isn't going to work for you so much. I am like right on the edge of being able to use it. It's a translucent, but it has a little bit of tint to it. So if you are very fair, like more fair than me, then you may want to try like the Anastasia. Their translucent is more fair. So we're just going to use the Juvia's Place JP 101 and tap that in there. Give it a tap off. I'm going to start under the eye area. And I love that this brush has a little bit of a point to it because it really, I think I just blew powder everywhere. It has a little bit of a point to it, so it really works around that eye socket very well. But yet you can get it right up underneath that eye. There we go. Now we're just going to work down the center of the face. Under that chin, every place we put that foundation. Moving on to our cheek. There we go. Now that's the bottom of our face. So now let's grab that in there and let's get right up in there in the top. We're going to go all the way to the hairline. And then around those brows as well. There we go. Now that we are all one color, we are all ready to go for our contouring. So today I am going to be using the KVD contour palette because I like it. So that is this one here, the KVD light refillable, shade and light refillable contact palette. So the thing I like about this is that these actually pop out and you can refill just the colors that you use. So, you know, usually we go to pan on one or two of them and then you've got all these other ones that you didn't use. Well, this one, you can just pop this out and refill that. So I'm going to be living in this and this today. So we're going to start out with our IT Cosmetics. This is a foundation brush. We're going to use this end for the bronzer, this end for the highlighter. So we're going to start here with the flat side. That's going to go right there on that. The side you just put that on is going to go up. We're going to go from the top of the ear in a little bit of a circular motion, heading towards that corner of the eye. We're going to stay above the hollow of the cheek there. And then we're going to go beside that temple. Now today we've got a pretty good amount of color. Well, it's not that it's colorful, but because it's a smoky eye, it's just going to be kind of intense color. So we're just going to make sure that we're a little more subtle with our blush and shading today. And I'm going to try a new MAC lipstick as well. I can't wait. It's not new, but it's new to me. All right, so we're going to go right up here against that hairline, give us a little bit of depth up here. Now we're going to switch to the side of the brush. And that's going to go from the ear to about the corner of the mouth, right under that jawline. So keep a neutral face so you can actually get right up under that jawline. That's going to help chisel that out just a little bit. Now, if you've got a very square jaw or a very well-defined jaw, you can maybe skip that step. But for the rest of the world, we're going to do that. All right, so now we're going to go from the corner all the way down to right where the tip of your nose is. You can see that kind of little ball kind of thing. And this is going to help just kind of narrow in that nose and give us some definition. We're just going to tap under the tip there. All right, now we're going to switch to the top of the brush and we're going to go into that highlighter. That's going to go on the top of the cheek here and right beside the eye. There you go. And now we're going to go straight down the center of the face. All right, so almost finished with the contouring. So now we're going to grab our Juvia's Place. This is the volume 4, which is a nice pink. And we're going to be living in, can you tell which one's my favorite? We're going to be living in this one right here. And we're just going to grab a traditional blush brush. This is a MAC, I can't read it anymore, 113 maybe? All right, so these are very pigmented. So you're just going to tap that in there a little bit. And we're going to go between the bronzer and the highlighter. And then between the bronzer and the highlighter up there on that temple. Just need a little bit of color. I'm going to tap just a little bit, get some right up there on that bronzer, give us some color up there on that forehead. And you don't really need to tip any more into the color because you're going to have enough left on here with what you've already done. We don't want to end up with so much pink that, you know, you need to be singing a Christmas song. So just tap it a little bit. There we go. Oh man, I'm going to be singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer all day long now. This happened to me last week. I'm going to have to stop referring to that song. Okay, so now that we've got our contouring done, we've got our foundation on, we got our face ready to go for some fun. Let's say our verse together. It's scrolling across the bottom of your screen. And we know, for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. Now we're going to do some fun with our lips. And you know what? I'm going to have to switch it up because I didn't grab my lip liner. So we're going to use the Currant. This is NYX. Currant is kind of a raisiny looking color. We just want a nice point on there. We're going to overline the lip just a little bit. What does that mean? So you can see your lip line and you're just going to go to the outside of that lip line just a little bit. So you're going to ride right on the outside of that, grab a little extra real estate because we all know what two things disappear when you get older, your hiney and your lips. So we're going to, we can't do anything about one of them, but we can do something about the lips. So we're going to line that just a little bit. All right. Actually, let me grab this. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we're going to start out in that Cupid's bow. There you go. Just give you a nice V so we got something to play with. Then we're going to go from the corner and round that out to the outside. Same thing on the other side. All right. Now we got the shape of our top going pretty good. Now let's go ahead and start in the bottom. Let's give us a little center point of reference. There you go. Now we know where we're going from. Now we're going to round out to the outside corner. So take a step back. Make sure you've got both sides even with each other. I tend to be very curvy on the right side and a little more linear on the left side. Don't know why. Okay, there you go. So now so we can ombre that out just a little bit, we're going to take that same pencil. We're going to come just to the inside of that line. So right where your lip liner would normally be. Use a little bit lighter pressure this time and kind of feather it. You don't need to be neat or anything like that. We're just softening that line a little bit. And you can see that that just, not pretty, but it'll get the job done. We'll make it look pretty in just a second with our lipstick. So I am using the MAC. This is the Maximal Matte Lipstick, and this is Viva Glam Planet. And this is just a beautiful neutral with a little hint of pink in it. Y'all are being very quiet this morning. No questions, no comments. I've only had like one city come through. Okay. One of my dogs is snoring behind me, so sorry if you hear that. Okay, so that Viva Glam Planet. I like the matte lipsticks because they wear so well. So you can see that's like neutral with just a little tinge of punch to it. So really like that one. Okay, so now let us press on with our eyes for today. So what are we going to be playing with? We are going to be playing with the Nubian 2 palette. And where are we going to be living with this today? Today we're going to be in Zuri. Then we're going to use a little Kenya. We're going to use just a smidge of Sheba. And then we're going to intense the outside with some Layla. So we're going to Zuri, Kenya, Sheba, Layla. That is where we are going to be living today. But unlike normal, we're actually going to start with our eyeliner first. So this is going to be, like I said, smoky eye. So we're going to start out with the eyeliner, and then our shadow is going to go over the top. Then we're going to use the eyeliner a little bit again, and then we should be good. Okay, so I've got the Too Faced Killer Liner, and we're going to start out with that right in the center. And just go ahead and line from that outside corner to the center. And you want it just a little bit heavy. I'm going to extend past my eyelid. And then I'm going to bring it in for a nice wide triangle. So when you close your eye, you want it to look like you don't need to have it like be perfect or anything like that. We're going to smudge this out and all that in just a minute. So for right now, we're just getting some of that smoky down. So we've gone just a little bit past the center of the eye. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So starting out with the outside corner, we're just going to line kind of heavy to the center. Then we're going to close our eye and bring that liner up. And then close that gap. And you don't need a super good point on the outside at this point because we can fix that here in just a minute. This is just getting some of that smoky down. Okay. I'm actually going to bring that in just a little bit. So now that we've got that down and we look like a crazy person, we're going to go ahead and grab our smudger. And for this little thing, I'm going to use the Morphe M508. It's just a little bit rounded, just kind of a narrow smudger. So we're going to take that smudger and we're going to come at it kind of straight on. And you're just going to blend that up and then over the edge. Working mainly on the top of that, not so much on the underneath of that. We just want that to smudge out right on the top. So it'll look a little messy. You can see right there. Don't worry about that. Just trust the process. And then we're going to do that same thing. I guess I should have done this one first, but anyways. So you're going over that edge and then we're blending up. Here we go. So you can see now we've got like a nice soft smoke happening. Well, the beginning of it. And actually, in looking at this, I think I'm going to come up just a little bit more. So let's go here. You know, that was the lip liner. Okay. Well, it's what we got. We did it on the one side. Let's do it on the other side. Okay, so now we're going to see how a lip pencil performs on the eyes. You know, it won't be the first time, and I'm sure not the last I will have used a lip pencil on my eye. There you go. Actually, that kind of softened that out nice, didn't it? Just because it was a little bit lighter than the Killer Black. There we go. Okay. I can see it's going to be one of them kind of days. Okay. So now we brought it up just a little bit. You can see what that looks like when the eyes are closed. Like the shape of that. I have hooded eyes, so sometimes it gets a little crazy up in here, but there you go. Okay, so what are we going to be doing now? We are going to grab the Zuri, and we're going to use a Morphe M433. This is just kind of a nice all-over brush. We're just going to get that on that tip of that brush there, and we're going to work that up on that brow bone, and then also on the inside. I'm going to go about halfway with that. And this again is the Zuri. I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. And again, about halfway right here. Okay. And now I'm going to go to the outside. I'm going to use the Morphe what is this, 506. And we're going to do that into the Kenya. So we're just going to get that Kenya right there on the tip. We're going to come right over what we smoked out with that Kenya. Just right over the top of that. So you're going to go a little bit more than halfway. Right over that Killer Black. And we're just going to bring that in. Make a nice, not really a triangle, but sort of. Would it be an oblique? Okay, math teachers everywhere just fainted. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Right over the top of that Killer Black. Oh, don't accidentally drop into Cleopatra. That's a blue color. Not really what we're trying to do here. Here we go. Okay. Now, if you have noticed any fallout at this point, go ahead and grab your fluffy brush. We're just gonna wipe that away there. I see my eye is already watering a little bit. The joys of allergies in Texas. Okay, so I am going to grab this is a Morphe M152. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna get into, let's see, what is this other shade called? Sheba. So Sheba, you can do both sides on this one. And we're just going to set that right in here in the middle. And you're going to kind of go at a little bit of an angle. This is going to be our bridge from the Zuri to the Kenya. And I love the shimmers that these offer. We're going to go just about, well, not just about, we are going to take that Sheba and we're going to go all the way up to where that eye socket bone is. And just bring that over to where you ended that killer liner. Okay, notice any fallout? Go ahead and get that. Let me go ahead and dab my tears away. Now we're going to work on the under of the eye. So we're going to go ahead and grab our smudger. This is the Real Techniques, the 87. I struggled so much with that one last week. I got it right this time. Okay, so the 87, we're going to go back in that Kenya just a little bit, right on the tip of that. And that's going to go right on this outside corner. And you're going to blend that right into where that killer liner came out. So now you're going to have a nice seamless line going over to that killer liner. And same thing on the other side. I'm just going to kind of drag it lightly to about halfway across. And then I'm going to dab off. Actually, let me go ahead and switch to a smaller. Let me grab let's use the Morphe M431. It's just a little bit smaller. The bristles are a little looser. So we're going to use that and we're going to go into that Zuri just right there on the tip. And that's going to go under the eye here. Going to go about halfway right where the Kenya is blending out. And then let's go ahead and get a little of that in the corner as well. You can just get it on that tip and set it right there in the corner like that. There you go. Now we're going to go ahead and go back to the M433 that started the whole thing with that Zuri. Go ahead and tap it like once in that Zuri. We're just going to go over that right there. We're going to go over this over here. We just want to make sure that we're blended out all nice and pretty. There you go. And now you've just got a nice smoky eye. I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that Kenya. We're just going to tap it. We're just going to make sure that this is nice here on the outside. There you go. Easy peasy. Okay, we are going to take our liquid liner. Let's do a little defining here. So this is the Too Faced Better Than Sex liner. We're going to go from the outside corner all the way to the inside. This is going to help to offer a little bit of forgiveness if you're not 100% accurate with your lash application. If you like a clear band lash, this is also going to help to give you a little bit of definition. Now, because of my eyelid shape, the hooded eyes, I don't really like very much of a liner out here, but what I am going to do is just give a little bit of a flick right there on that outside corner. And we're going to do that same thing on the inside. Again, we're just lining with a thin line on the top. And then we're going to go here and just give us a little bit of a flick right there. And that will allow our intensity of the liner to be on the outside, but not be, you know, too something out there. So there we go. Okay, much better. I'm going to grab that killer liner because I just realized that we did not add any on that bottom there. So we're going to take that killer liner and on the outside corner, on the bottom, we're going to bring it in just about a third of the way. That's just going to draw to the outside corner. Now, if you have blue eyes like I do, you will notice at this point that your blue is going blue because brown brings out the blue. So it's just a very nice neutral looking color, but it is great with blue eyes. I'm going to go ahead and come in here just a little bit. Here we go. Okay, looks like my eye is trying to water again. Okay, there we go. Now, for our brows, whatever your brow product of choice is, that is what you're going to do here now. For me, that is going to be the product I ended up using on my lips. This is the NYX lip pencil, and I am the shade Currant. I've got some pink kind of going on in here. Then there's some sort of wine, raspberry. So this lip pencil will do the trick for me. So since I used it on my lips, let me just give it a little bit of a sharpen here. There we go. You want to make sure that you have a great eye shape for your great eyebrow shape for your eyebrows. So make sure you have a professional arch expert do that for you. The girls at the benefit counter at Ulta are amazing. They will help you with what products you want to use for the look you want to get, how to actually use those products, their brow map. They're great. And for the over 40 crowd, if you have any other hairs on your face that you don't want there, they can do a full face wax for you. So there we go. So we're just going to feather that out just a little bit so we don't end up with a harsh line eyebrow. My brows don't quite come in enough, so I have to use the brow color to bring them in just a smidge. All right, so now we're going to color that on the other side. And then we'll brush it out and make it look a little prettier here in a second. There you go. Now, I'm a little square looking right now, so I'm going to use my Real Techniques. This is the angled brow brush. It has a spoolie on the other end, and we're just going to brush that out, flicking upward. I'm going to use the edge of that, and then we're just going to make that not look so structured. Yes, great question. Some people do their brows before they do their eyeshadow, just kind of a personal preference. And then we're going to brush that upward just a little bit, flicking that out so that it ends up a little bit softer on the top side. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I am going to grab the... let me see which brush it was. The one that had the Zuri on it, the M433. We're just going to clean up the underside a little bit. Mostly it was okay. There we go. So now we've got a nice smoked out looking eye. We've got some great intensity on the outside. Let us conclude this with some beautiful lashes. And then this will all make a little bit more sense. But before we get there, let's go ahead and say our verse together. I waited until it was like right in the middle. So let's wait till it rolls around and then we'll say that together. Okay, so here we go. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. So what I should have done was started my lash curler. So I'm going to press that in. It turns light green. Press it again. Turns the dark green. The tip is red. Once that turns white, we will be ready to go. So that's going to take us just a minute. So let's go ahead and talk about the Color Me James while we're waiting for that thing to heat up. So go ahead and turn yours on as well. So what is this? That's a great question. This is the Grande Lash Lift. This, I found a Black Friday special on TikTok. I know I got suckered into a couple of things. But I had looked at that and hadn't bought it before. And now that I have it, wow, amazing. So I love that you don't have to crimp and press and pinch and everything else with this tool. So great tool. It is a USB rechargeable, so makes it super easy to take with you wherever you go. I haven't actually had to recharge it yet. So, I mean, it's a pretty good battery in there. All right. So back to the Color Me James. So with Color Me James, what we're going to be doing is every day you're going to have an exercise to do with the verse, not like exercise, but an activity. That's a better word. Activity to do with the verse. And then there'll be a little bit of Bible study. I mean, like daily. It could take you anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on how much you want to put into it. Now, like anything else, remember that what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So the more time that you spend as you go through your chapter observations, as you work through the verse, that is going to be totally, especially as we press on into the book of James, it's going to be really important that you continue to work and compound on the verses that you're memorizing. So super excited about that. Okay, so looks like we're ready to go. Our tip there is now a white clear kind of color instead of the red. So we're going to do one eye at a time. And the mascara that I'm going to be using today is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. Oh, I just got their new mascara, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so we're going to start on the inside right here. And you're going to take it has little teeth, so it protects your eyelid. You're just going to take it right on that root and set that down. And then we're going to do 10 seconds. So we'll say that verse together. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. And then the outside. There we go. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. And in the center, here we go. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. And then we're just going to blend that up. Just keep brushing it a little bit. We want everything going in an upward. Now you could use a tubing mascara and totally bypass the false lashes altogether if that's what you want to do. I just like the fullness that the lashes give me. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to mascara that top lash. So we just need, oh, that was almost in my eye. We just need a light coat because we're going to be using the lashes. But you do want to brush back on those tips there. And we want to go all the way from the bottom of the lash. So all the way from the root to the tip. You can use that pointy part of the tip to get those outside little tiny hairs that are usually a pain in the booty. There we go. And then we're going to take that, we're going to recap that mascara, and we're going to come over here and do that same thing on the outside. So we're going to start on the inside. Remember, those teeth are going to be against your skin. Here we go. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. And then on the outside, here we go, right there, set that down on that root. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. And then in the center, there we go. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good for those who are called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. And then just brush those lashes just like you would do with a curling iron on the hair on the top of your head. We're just going to curl that, brush that up. Okay, set that aside. Well, you can actually turn it off now because we don't need it anymore. Okay, so mascara on the top of that. Root to tip here. And brushing back on those tips. There you go. Now, our bottom lashes are not getting false lashes, so we're going to go ahead and do the bottom lashes as you normally would. So we're just going to give a root to tip on those. Making sure we sweep up on the underside so the tips are nice and good. There we go. And same thing on the other side. Sorry, my hand got all up in the way there. And again, you're going from root to tip. And you're sweeping back up under the tips there. Okay. You might have seen a lot of my hair there. Sorry about that. Okay, let me I feel like my mascara is about on its last leg. So they might need just a little bit more help there. There we go. I thought I did that. You know, you gotta love accidents. So what do you do with it? I'm gonna grab my bullet. We're going to go into our setting powder just a little bit, which we were going to do anyways. We're just doing a little out of turn. So I'm going to grab the bullet. This is a It Cosmetics Precision 310. And I was just asked about this. This brush has been discontinued, but It Cosmetics brought it back with something else. And it's called Pointy Foundation something. I'll put that in the show notes as well. But we're going to use that to just clean up that line here. So give us a nice crisp. Oh, Wesley felt the need to talk to us today. Thank you, Wesley. There we go. And that cleaned up and took care of that little bit of mascara smudge that I had right there. Okay. So, back to what we're doing now. Let's grab our Juvia's Place. This is the Juvia's Place. This is a Nubian lash in Zaria. This is a flared lash, so we've got a narrower edge on the inside and a longer edge on the outside. We are going to be using the Allure. This is the Allure 18-hour lash glue. So we're going to use our lash tool. We're going to grab that lash from the outside edge and just grab that right there. And then right here, I'm going to set that on the table in front of me, just like it's going to go on my face, so I don't lose track of which end is which end. The one thing great about a flared lash is you can easily tell which end is which end. The more times that you wear a lash, the more that it is going to conform to your actual eye shape. Yeah, I know. That's Wesley. He's just a little guy, but he has a very big voice. Wesley. And it looks like, let me see if I can get that little thing off there. Here we go. So we're going to go on the top of that band. And then we're going to go on the back side of that band. We're going to make sure that we pay special attention to those outside corners, because those, if you get any lifting with that, they can get a little pinchy and just kind of uncomfortable. So, and you definitely don't want any lift. Oh my goodness, do I have stories about lash lift? So there was a customer that I was working with one day, and I was trying, I believe it was a set of magnetic lashes. And I was talking to her and I could feel it kind of lifting, but I mean, I was with the customer, so, I couldn't do anything about it. And as I'm talking, the lash jumps off my eyeball and lands on my cheek. And the lady was like, and so I had to just, turn around the other way for a split second, grab the lash. And so now I have one lash on. So I'm saying, my little sentence, finishing my talk. And then I just kind of like turn the other way, rip the other lash off. And the lady was kind of like, what is happening here? So things happen, laughter can cover a lot of things. Obviously it makes for a great story now when I think about the things. Okay, so the lash glue is going to go on white, but then it's going to dry down clear. So we're going to wait till it just gets a little bit like that right there. We're going to fan it. And then we're going to set that right where in the center where our liner is. There we go. We're going to walk that lash around right here right on the top of that line. Outside edge, grab that corner just above that band and set that down on that liner. Then we're going to just kind of tap those two together to make sure everybody is working in harmony. We're going to check that inside, make sure that's going well. And then you should be good to go. Okay. And you can see how that flared lash really plays into that smoky eye that we did. And the lash, between the two eyes, look at the difference there. Definitely. You could use a smaller. Another one that I like is the, I think it's Ardell, part of their sport line. They have one called Gains, Gainz. That's another nice one if you just want a little something, but you don't want anything too crazy. I believe these are a medium in Juvia's place, so you get volume, but it's not like the butterfly lash thing. So we're going to take that lash, we're going to set it down over here on the top of the liner, just like we did the other one. There we go. Then we're going to walk that around, put that on that inside corner. Looks like I got a little adhesive on the lash there, so let me dab that off. There we go. Outside corner, we're going to grab that just above that lash band, set that right on that eyeliner. Then just like we did on the other side, we're going to pinch the two together. Just make sure that everything is in that same space. Going to check that inside corner. There you go. Then we're going to take the tip of that and we're going to work our lashes into that lash. I like to make sure everything's kind of going the same direction. For whatever reason, my inside lashes, I don't know if it's just me or if that's everybody, but the inside lashes have a tendency to get a little crazy and they go that way while the lash is going that way. So I just like everything to be where it needs to be. And then I'm going to just press to make sure, it's the insurance. It's like when you press the door in the hotel room when you're walking out. So now we've got that smoky eye going on. We've got that, which is that Nubian 2 palette. We've got those beautiful Juvia's Place lashes on. We've got that wonderful MAC neutral lipstick going on. So what can we do to accentuate this look a little bit? I'm going to grab my Anastasia highlighter brush. I'm going to grab the Heroin Glow 2 from Juvia's Place. And we're just going to uncap that. This is a beautiful kind of a rose gold shimmer. So we're just going to work that over the top of that. We're going to go on the top of the cheek. And then we're going to go right beside the brow. Top of the cheek. Right beside the brow. And then we're going to come down the center of the face. I like to kind of smudge that out just a little bit on that forehead. I don't really like a dewy look, but I do like some nice shimmer. And this isn't glittery. It's just a little shimmery. So it's a nice balance for those of you who don't want to get crazy, but you just want a little something to kind of elevate that look. So, excuse me. Now we want everything to stay put all day long. So we're going to grab our Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give that a little bit of a shake. We're just going to let that set. Man, I love that smell. There we go. So now we have a nice look. You could do this one for every day. Obviously, the more times you do it, the faster that you're going to get at it. This is also something that you could wear at night if you're going out somewhere. Maybe you want to be a little fancier. You could step up the lipstick a little bit. This would also look very pretty with a red lip. If you were going to go somewhere a little bit fancier and you want to elevate that look just a little bit. So let's say that verse together again. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. I waited until it was gone just about again. Okay, here we go. And we know for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. It has been a delight to hang out with you. And just a reminder that you can catch me on social media, answer any questions that you have. Let me see your pictures. What palette did you use and how did the look come out for you? I'm on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. So let's look at our Bible verses together. Now, the week before, we had been working on Ephesians 6, 10, and 11. Finally, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. Loved the song that went with that one. It's actually the ringtone on my phone right now. I'm not going to sing it for you. But anyways, that one was great. And so this week, we're going to be working on Romans 8:28 again. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. For those who are called according to his purpose, Romans 8:28. And I failed to get that song out to you this week. So I look forward, or last week. So I look forward to getting that out to you this week. So just a reminder, I'm sorry, I can't see my screen. There we go. We are going to be doing Color Me James. That is going to start on March 6th. Is that actually next week? I think that's next Thursday. Oh my goodness. So be looking for that. When you get over to my website, make sure that you join the email list because that is going to have some insider information for some upcoming fun things that we're going to do with Color Me James. So I am excited to get to share that with you. There's going to be some free things, some giveaways, all kind of fun stuff. So get over to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Get yourself on that Grace and Beauty email list, and then we will be good to go. I promise not to spam you. You're only going to get like one thing a week, and it's all going to be about the episode that is happening. So no spam there. So let me see what else we got here. Okay, so let me give you a blessing, and then we will head out for today. So coming from number 6:24 through 26, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for each one of these women who have come and hung out here with me today. It has been such a delight to get to fellowship and, think about you and to enjoy Jesus while we're working on beauty on the inside with our scripture memory, but we're working on beauty on the outside too. Father, I just pray that you would help us to retain that scripture, that we would hide it in our hearts so that we can use it for ourselves, for edification and encouragement, for instruction and righteousness, and that you would help us to have that ready and available as we speak with others throughout the week. Father, I just pray a blessing on them as they go out, whether they're here with me live or they're hanging out in a video later on. Father, just bless them this week, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, it has been a delight to hang out with you. I look forward to seeing you on social media later on throughout this week. And we will continue to be working on this verse. You'll see that song come out. I think it'll release on Saturday. So be ready for it. I am just loving Daniel's voice. So I hope that you enjoy the song as much as I have. Like I said, I turned it into my ringtone. So be looking for that wallpaper for your phone to help use that like a flashcard. And then also the song to help you really be able to remember that verse. So it has been a joy to be with you. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Look forward to seeing you online next Thursday where we kick off Color Me James. It is going to be an exciting day that day. You guys have a great week. Goodbye and God bless. Mwah. I love you.
I live